Hey everybody, welcome back to another amazing episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Gene's got a rocking shirt. I got to see what his shirt reads there. Stay handsome. Is that what it's saying? Oh, staying handsome.
Got it.
Dyslexia kicks in again. Matt could not make it. He is doing a big model shoot, so he has to go on a diet for his bikini shot tomorrow. So we're going to miss him, but we know he's going to be losing water weight and loving life. But in the meantime, I got the Evil Bald Ninja, Mr. Gene Volpe, coming in heavy as a co-host. How are you, buddy?
This is why I wore that shirt today. How dare I wear a Staying Handsome shirt while Matt is on the show with me? So he's not here. I'm the handsomest dude on the show.
Exactly. Well, Todd's going to take you for a run for your money.
That's a true story. That's true.
Guys, we got Todd Ashton on the line today, and what we're going to be talking about, what he's been incredibly successful at, is doing it himself, and then also teaching his students how to buy foreclosable tax liens and increasing your gains 2,000, 3,000 plus %. And so he's just, guys, really take a pen and paper out. This is honestly interesting stuff because there's so many different ways to make money in real estate, and Todd's going to open up our eyes to it. So Todd, without ado, my friend, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's interesting you said that. When I used to stand in front of crowds and talk to them, I'd say, the upside about or real estate is there's so many ways to make money. The downside is there's so many ways to make money. And the problem is finding your niche and then focusing on those things that really give you that doorway to success. A lot of people, especially in this industry, and you guys should resonate with this, they spin their wheels because there's so many shiny objects out there. There's so many ways for them to go because real estate affords you that flexibility that they literally in my opinion, I've never gotten my license. So hats off to all the people that are licensed realtors. I've never done that. At 56, I've never felt the urge. I've never wanted to be. For me, I felt like it was going to put the damper on me. Maybe not. That's just my opinion. But I didn't want to jump through someone else's hoops. I kind of go to the beat of my own drum. And for me, it was a detriment, I guess. And I know, talking to people that are actually very successful and making a lot of money in real estate, that's just my own screwed up idea. But what was my point? I was going to say that in not getting the license and not being conformed to that, I've had to find ways to make money in real estate that were kind of non-conventional. They weren't the way that everyone else was doing it. And so back in the day, before the crash, I had a company, Celerity Investments, and I had a couple of partners. We had 32 million in holdings because it sounds like a lot, but we had about 60 homes, $250,000 plus homes in Utah. And what we were doing is we were sandwich leasing them, so that we were making about $100 to $200 off the door, and we were helping people build their credit. Back then, we were taking advantage of all the straw buyer laws and lending everything was very easy to get money and invest, and so we were doing that, and we were mining the equity out of those homes, and then we'd go and buy more homes, and we started to branch out, and we were buying homes in Florida. By then things were starting to fail, and so there were whole communities in Florida that were like ghost towns that we were snatching up. So it was really a cool ride until everything hit the skids. Right. And after that happened, and I lost everything, it was a terrible time, as you know. I mean, I lost friends. A lot of people lost their lives, their livelihood, their marriages. It was a hard time. But I knew that real estate. I knew that you could make a lot of money in real estate, and I knew that it was a viable source. And so that was my whole goal, was I wanted to find something that was doable, it was repeatable, it was replicatable, and it didn't involve the banks. And so in all that, I stumbled onto tax liens, and here we are today. That's why we're talking.
That's interesting. So you wanted to do something that didn't involve the banks. And I think a lot of people would like to step away from banks altogether for multiple different reasons. So when you found this, what did it mean what was that first step? And kind of, let's talk about some deal structure and strategy and kind of where this is going for you. And what does it mean to find a foreclosable tax lien? Let's just first tackle that part of it.
Okay, so my major competitor, and I won't name names or anything, but if you go out there and look at tax liens, there's one out there that sticks out above all the rest. Just because they do seminars, they go all over the country. They teach a 14-step process to finding liens and deeds and capitalizing on it. Believe me, by the time you get to doing 14 steps, you'll be so confused and upset and disadvantaged. I mean, you'll be so done with the situation. The actual people that succeed with their plan is about 5 in 100, really 1 in 100 that actually do something with it. They're set up to fail from the beginning. So my approach in doing this, I was one of the best. I don't want to say best, but I was the most sought after coach of all their coaches because people were hearing through the grapevine that my students were actually seeing success. So they were in the 1% club or the 5% club already, and they wanted to obviously gravitate to that. So they were clamoring to go, well, what's this guy's secret sauce? And what I had done is I had boiled it down to 4 things. Really, it's and they write these things down, take notes, but it's really find, vet, evaluate, and verify. Or find, evaluate, vet, and verify. So basically what you're doing is you got to find them first. And I show people where the fishing holes are. I've eliminated all the barriers for success because I reverse engineered it. I took it from the goal, which is to get money in your pocket, to the very start. And I said, okay, what are all the steps? It's really boils down to you got to find them, know where they're at, and find them. And I know how to do that without competition. Write that down. I do it without no competition. I literally know where to find all the fishing holes where there's a plethora of fish where you just go in and net them. And so find them, and then you've got to evaluate them, obviously. And realtors know how to do that. Right. Supposed to do that. Evaluate and make sure it's a real deal. You vet them, which means if you're not there, if you're not going to be there and be able to walk around the property, you got to be able to through digital means go out and find people in that area who can be your eyes and ears on the ground. That's very easy to do, but you've got to go out and vet that and make sure that all the numbers you're seeing, everything, all the information you're getting is up to date. It's real, it's factual, it's doable, it's actionable. And then when you've done all those 3 things, then you just pull the trigger and you move on it and you verify it and move on it. So that's really finding is the first thing. If people engage me, I don't take them and throw them to the wolves. I take them by the hand and I say, okay, today, where are you? Are you, have you never done tax liens and deeds, or are you a professional that's done this for a long time? I'll tell you a story on that in just a minute. And I take them by the hand wherever they're at, assess them because it's unique to them. And then I'm like a silent partner. I just take them by the hand. They've got me on bat phone. They've got me on speed dial, and I walk them through the process and show them what the next steps are.
That's one of the interesting things. You mentioned that there would be no competition. So let's not share, the secret sauce, but what would be an idea where there would be competition that they weren't learning from you? Where would you go? Where would you even find one of these things?
So my competitors. Yeah, my competitors, they teach, anyone out there teaches how to go to auctions. There's a plethora of auctions out there all over the nation, and counties put on auctions. There's also auction sites that do this, and they because it's becoming such a hip thing to do, and people are realizing that this is real and it's viable and doable, they're jumping on it, and they're going to these auction sites, and they're kind of self-teaching them how to do it. They've set themselves up to fill at the get-go because auctions are very, very competitive, and unless they know what they're doing, they're going to get their lunch eaten. Is that how you say it? They're going to get eaten for lunch. They are going to get raked over the coals. Let me give a perspective. I literally had a student that went on to a site in Florida,
an auction site, right?
Pardon?
An auction site, right? The place that you
site. Well, okay, an auction site. They were auctioning off condos on the beach in Florida, and they were going for about $100,000 to $110,000. He jumped on there. The bidding started like at $40,000, which would have been a good deal. But then it went skyrocketed to 50, 60, 70, 80. He ended up getting it for about $95,000 to $100,000, which that is not a deal. He bought it retail basically. Mm-hmm. That's not an investment. He bought it at retail, which is still a good investment in the sense that he could do an Airbnb and make his money back. Really, there's ways to make money back even on that investment. But I went with my student. I went to the same. I didn't with my students. I went to the same place, and I was able to find condos in the same distressed that back taxes hadn't been paid in the same area. They were on the inward side. They weren't facing the ocean, so they weren't on oceanfront property, but they're in the same building on the other side of the building. And I was able to go directly to the source under the covers and tee it up. It's called OTC. It's no secret. It's called over the counter. But I know how to go over the counter, go directly to the source, and I was able to get that same condo for $5,000. So that's why. I mean, do the math, guys. Do you want to go get your raked over the coals in an auction where you're just going to get, beaten down, or do you want to by professionals? There's groups of professionals that have the money, and they literally band together, and they give you no ability to win. If you do one, it's totally by chance. And so I take all the chance out of it. I take all the variables out of it, because once you become a member of the Alliance, the Tax Lien Alliance, TLA, do you have my
oh, I gotta grab it. I'll grab it in a second.
Throw that up there when you can. If and when you become a member of the Tax Lien Alliance, I literally walk you through the process over and over again. I don't take any part of your deals, but I give you direct access to, you can make that a little smaller even, and so it's not so pixelated. It's kind of pixelated. You just make it smaller, but that's me. You can put it up in the corner, kind of like what you've got. Instead of Real Estate's Uncensored, throw mine up there for a minute if you can. I don't know if you can. It'll look a lot better if it's that size, but it's meant for that smaller of a square. I usually put it on emails and stuff like that. Anyway, my website is www.taxlienalliance.com. You can throw that as a banner on that also. It's www.taxlienalliance.com. Or I've given information how to contact me directly at the end of it. But I kind of digressed. What was the question we were asking about?
So we're kind of talking about, and Gene, I want to get you weigh in on this. And when it comes to after they purchase it, kind of like on the back end, I want your brain to start kind of chewing on how marketing these properties. I know there's probably a lot of easy stuff, but it was, we're talking about fishing holes and where people can go find these. And so we're talking about the fact that you went to the Florida area. Your non-student went and bought one for a condo for $100,000. You were able to buy the same unit on the inland side for $5,000.
Right.
And then I can't shrink that down. It's not letting me do it, but
no worries.
And so what you're doing is you take people and you lead them by the hand and say, okay, look, you got a couple extra bucks in your pocket. You want to learn how to do tax lien. Maybe you're like me. You've been in the game for 21 years and you're just effing tired of doing all the legwork, working with clients all the time, but there's still ways to put a couple of dollars in and get a lot of dollars back, right? It's like basically it's like the definition of wholesaling.
It's actually better than wholesaling. I talked to a wholesaler the other day. I actually have two properties that my student sent me. He's ready to tee them up to wholesalers. Wholesalers would grab these all day long. It's in the $45,000 range. It's worth about double that. Wholesalers would have a field day with this. But again, he's picked it up for a lot less, but he's done the hard work to get it to a warranty deed instead of a tax deed. They won't buy it as a warranty deed, which is the only way people should buy it. But so it's insurable, and it's they've done the chain of they've done all the chain of, what's that called? Chain of title. Yeah. So forgive me if I don't know all the terms like that, because I don't do the back end stuff. But I just know where to go to get it done. But that's what I do. I help people. I help them create their power team. They'll understand that. I help them find maybe other realtors in the area, maybe property assessors. It could be a lawyer that understands the tax deeds and liens in that specific state. So there's a lot of different moving pieces that I help them cobble together and put together so they can do it. I'll give you an example. I had a student that had been a very good and very astute student back with USTLA, and he had spent all the money to maximize his experience there. He had become one of the 1%ers. He was from Switzerland. So the guy from Switzerland, he said, Todd, oh, by the way, he was doing this. He had gotten so adept at it. He was doing this for 30 people. In other words, he was the fund manager. They would give him all their money, and he would invest it for them and then give them a return. But he would make the gains on his deals he did. Plus they were, he got money for managing the fund. Well, so he positioned himself in a good position, but I talked to him and he said, Todd, why would I want to engage you again? He said, I actually paid a lot of money to learn this, and I'm really good at my craft. I know what the freak I'm doing, and I'm feeding 30 other people here in Switzerland, and I'm really, we're doing pretty well. And he said, why would I engage you? And I said, well, okay, Rito, how many properties do you actually own right now in your portfolio? And he said, he was really proud. He said 25, and he said 25, and I said, okay, Rito, of the 25 properties, how many of those have you been successful on or profited on? And he was dead silent for a few, like 10 seconds. And he said, where do I send the check? You know what I mean? And so it's in knowledge is power, as you guys know. What separates someone that's totally clueless from someone that's in the 1% is knowledge and how to apply that knowledge. And that's the power of what I do. So it doesn't matter, again, if you're a rank amateur or you've done this a while. My job is to help you succeed and to take you by the hand and bust all the doors and give you all the access to my network of 30 years so that you can connect and do it.
Gene, I want to get you to jump in here.
Yeah. No, I've been writing stuff down, so I got questions, right? So a couple.
And that's the other thing. Let me just say something real quick, Gene. I want people to come to me who are skeptical. Engage me. Don't just look at my website. Don't just look at my marketing stuff, which is few and far between out there. The way I've usually worked is through referrals. People see a student of mine that's knocking out of the park, and they go, what the freak are you doing? You've got to be doing something. Everything you do turns to gold. You touch turns to gold. What are you doing? And they say, I got a guy. And that guy comes and talks to me, and I don't take them right on. They got to get to know me. They got to get to know the process. They got to get to know what they're in for. It's a process, guys. So I would say engage me. Don't be afraid of me. I'm very approachable. I want you guys to learn this. If you really want to do this, there's so many paths to success, but you need to start. You need to engage. And so that's what I would say is, like, Gene, if you were to engage me, I would just say, okay, what are all your questions? Let's address those first. And then here, instead of me just lecturing you on what you should do, here's a lot of information that's already out there that's published, like white papers that will back up what I'm saying, so it'll answer your question succinctly, and not just me just hey, believe me, you can verify it and what I'm telling you. And then over a course of, say, a day or 2 days or a week or a month or next year, you're going to come around to my perspective eventually, where you're going to be so excited, you're going to go, I can't stand it. How do I get involved? And then we can move forward.
And sorry that it took a whole year, right? Or 2 years.
Yeah, you're gonna, whatever time it takes, that's on you, buddy.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm listening. And so let me ask a couple questions that people are already thinking about, right? So the first one's real simple. And I think part of the answer depends on where you are geographically and where you're investing. But how much capital should I expect to need to start to do this?
You can do it with as little as $5,000. I would say it makes sense to have 15 to 20 grand socked away somewhere. But actually, I can actually strike that off your list right now. There are so many ways to get access to money right now. You can go to LendingTree and get a personal loan for $30,000 if you can fog a mirror, and if your score is over 650. So they'll give you a $30,000 loan right there. So really, the money is to engage me, because once I have that, then I have all the time and energy to focus all my efforts on making you the next poster child of TLA. And so really, once you do that, if you need more money for deals, I have people that just come on. They're just my money people. I literally had a lady from California come on a couple of years ago, and she said, Todd, I'm older. I've been in real estate all my life. I've done every form of real estate you can imagine, from single family residence to commercial, even the hotels. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the game, but I have a lot of money put away. Can I just be a money person? So I said, well, in order to do that, you still need to pay the admission price. You're still going to pay me to come into the alliance. But once they do that, they're set. I don't upsell. I never do any. I don't take any of their deals. When I put them with my money people, I don't take a profit. I don't skim any money off of it. I put them directly with that money person. So if you came and engaged me tomorrow, Gene, we would get going. If there's 4 things I look for, you have to I test you while you're testing me. I'm going to test you. But if you get over those 4 hurdles and I see you're a good candidate, I'll invite you on. And if we see it's a win-win and you see it's a matchup, then you come on. But if you need money, there's plenty of money to do deals.
That's awesome. That's good. And so let's talk about that, because I think the next question is going to be, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm curious as to your thoughts. The climate is changing in real estate with COVID and commercial space and, people moving out of the cities and all that stuff. What do you think that is going to be in the cards for foreclosable tax liens over the next 2 to 4 to 5 years, or whatever your guesstimation is?
So
what's been going on?
Yeah, I can answer that very unequivocally. I had a student today. She said, Todd, I want to come in, but my husband doesn't know anything about this. And I kind of threw it at him, and he has no perspective. And he said no. And I said, well, he should have. I'm glad he said no. That makes sense. And so I said, but he says, well, the reason he didn't say no, he just said, I don't want to even look at this until after the elections, because I don't know which way they're going to go. And I have a lot of fear, and I have a lot of doubt and worry. And what if the whole economy collapses next year? Well, for me, that's a good thing. Unfortunately, I hate to say it that way, but for me, for my business and my students, it would only get better. The situation will only get better. But in this COVID time of uncertainty, while everyone's been going through this process and they've been not being able to pay their mortgage and not being able to pay their back taxes, their property taxes, the opportunities were already off the charts. They're unlimited. Now they're just they say the wave. You hear the word, the wave is coming. Mm-hmm. The wave is already here. It's already. I mean, if you came on today, I would have, before COVID, I would have been able to show you fishing holes where you had unlimited opportunities. And I'm not talking, when I say unlimited, I'm talking literally, I have students right now that have 3 or 4 lists that have 6,000 to 10,000 properties on them right now.
What?
It's unreal. But because of the wave that's coming, that's going to double and triple and that type of thing. So yeah, it's online auctions. What's Wayne saying? Wayne, I want to read that. I'm trying to buy condos in Palm Beach online sales auction this year. I always get outbid, of course. I set my bid at 40%. Of course, that's where you start. I never win. I'm missing something. Yeah, you're missing my course. What you're missing is you shouldn't be doing auctions. Why engage? Okay, why would you engage in auctions? I'm the same way. If I went to battle, I do not want to be a grunt on the front lines. I'm sorry. You're just cannon fodder. You're just going to end up, and Jake knows this. You're going to be, if you're on the front lines, it's a crapshoot whether you're going to come home that day. I would rather be on SEAL Team 6, who is very highly trained and and knows what the next setup is, knows what the next deal is that I'm going into, and I've got all the ability to win it. I'm in it to win it, and I do it stealth-wise. I go under the covers. I do it behind the scenes. I take all the competition away. I do it stealth mode so that I can enrich myself while other people out there getting beat up, like this gentleman that just mentioned. I see that all the time. What he set up is the actual perfect storm for what they do, and they bring students in with. When I say they, my competitors or anyone out there brings them in to say, "Hey, spend $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 with me, and I'll teach you how to do this." They give them all the nuts and bolts, and then they leave to their own machinations. And guess what? They fail. They're set up for failure, unfortunately.
So I have one, Greg, if you're okay here.
Go.
I recently, and actually, Greg, about a month ago, and you and I talked about this, and we were going to bring in the T. Diddy Grandmaster. And we were going to bring in your boy. What was the guy's name? Corey. The money guy, the hard money guy.
Oh, Casey.
Sorry, Casey. I had a deal come across my desk that was a tax lien property. So if you're okay with this, Todd, what I'd like to do is give you some of the details and then have you tell me what my next, obviously without giving me anything that's behind the paywall, but give me an idea of the next couple of steps that I should have taken. So here's what
if you want to know, Gene, this is what you need to do. Go to come to me first. Don't go to my website. You don't need to go through all the marketing hype out there. Come to me directly.
Okay.
Email me at toddashton@gmail.com, just my name, toddashton@gmail, and I'll send you links to a webinar that I have out there. It's on the web. It's on YouTube. It's a webinar. It's about an hour long, but 45 minutes long, but it's just meat, and more meat. And it basically takes you through an entire deal and gives you all the websites and shows you exactly what to do. The reason that's not going to be ultimately successful is because the devil's in the details. And that's why you ultimately need me to get you, avoid the minefields, you know what I mean? The traps. Jake knows if you're in the war zone, if you're in Afghanistan, you don't follow a guy into battle named Lucky that's going to help you get through the minefield and he has one leg. That doesn't work. A one-legged guy named Lucky is going to help you guide you through the minefield is not the guy you want to sign up with.
Lucky is not a good investment strategy. Is that
no. Luck is not a good. It's not a strategy, right? Hope and prayer is not a strategy, right? So, no, the first thing I do is say get educated, and what I do in your channel, give me the details, and I'll give you a little bit of. I'll set you. What I do is I set you up for let's do this, and this, and then when you get out of your depth and don't know what the next step is, you come to me. You have me on on speed dial. You have me on bat phone, and you say, okay, I've done that. What's next? What's next? And I lead you through the deal. But right now, I can certainly get you on the path. So tell me what it was about.
Okay, so this is hypothetical now because it's already been sold. So we kind of bailed out of it. But here's what it was.
You can run into these things every day. So tee one up.
Yeah. Okay. So this one was a 10,000 square foot house in a really nice area with a nice school district. It was purchased by the people that were in arrears for 1.25 mil in 2017.
Holy crap. So send that to me when you get those kind of deals. Send that to me, and I will partner with you. I won't even charge you. We'll just go get the money and split it. How's that?
Damn, I wish I would have knew that 30 days ago. I would have done it.
Yeah.
Back taxes on it were how much do you think?
So yeah, they were. I'm sure they were hundreds of thousands of dollars. They probably weren't 10,000. They were
71.
That's great.
So what would have been your next step with me? Like, okay, do what? Go and pull title. Just make sure that's the only thing on it. Like, what are some?
So again, go back to find, evaluate, vet, and verify. So you've already got find and evaluate down. You pretty much had a good idea what the market value was for that property, right?
Yep.
So then vet is what you want to do is you just want to make sure first of all that what you're seeing on the net is really there. I mean, Google can screw up. Google Maps is not the end all be all. You want to get eyes on the property and call somebody. Usually what I do is call a realtor in the area. And usually realtors, they're hearing this like, I've dealt with those guys. They're F-alls. I don't want to talk with them. But what I do is I call a very small mom and pop's realtor in that zip code. And I talk to somebody, I don't talk to the receptionist, but I talk to somebody that I preface like this. Do you have somebody in your office that works with investors and would like to make some money doing deals? And then when that guy gets on the phone or gal gets on the phone, then I would say, hey, I've got this deal. I think it's teed up and ready to go, but I need someone like you to just drive by the property and actually verify and see if it's there for one, make sure the condition I see it's in is actually the condition it really is in. Does that make sense?
It does, but let me give you one more. I had a real estate agent take me to the property because it was 5 miles from my house. So
why did you do this deal? That's just yeah. Anyway. I hate the ones that got away. But anyway, so why did you let it go?
There were a multitude of reasons, right? But the big one was that the house was so laid out strange. A stupid reason, but it was laid out so strange, and there was going to be so much rehab involved with the amount of cash. There was a lot of stuff behind the deals. Like
no. So what we would have done? What could you have wholesaled that for? What could you have flipped that to a wholesaler for that would have picked that up at a good deal?
So here's the interesting part, and this is kind of what I was getting at, because my idea at the time was not to let it go to sheriff's sale, was to make the current owners, a deal, and then pay off the liens.
You don't want to do that. The reason why is they're the ones that got it in that problem in the first place? Do you think they're going to be the ones that are going to get you out of it? That doesn't work. Not 9 times out of 10, that doesn't work. I've tried that. I want to help people. I don't want to kick them out of their house. When I engage somebody and they haven't paid their taxes for 5 years and they're basically living in their property, they're squatting in that property. The first thing I want to do is say, hey, I'll be the bank. I'll take over. You pay me and we'll get you back on track. 9 times out of 10, they bulk at even paying the rent. They don't want to pay the rent. They've been living there for 5 years free. Why would they pay you all of a sudden?
Yeah.
So they can't wrap their mind around that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because I know they got themselves in a position because they actually bought it in cash.
So let me what Chris just said. He's absolutely right. They are a racket. I'm telling you, the tax sales, whether they're online or in person, they're a freaking racket. And if you're not in the game, if you're not in the know, if you're not in the club and you don't know, like he's saying, the auctioneer in this place, there's other variables too. You're not going to walk away with the properties. And if you do, it was because, again, of sheer accident and you probably overpaid for the property. So that's, again, Chris is just stating why, in all my years of experience, I don't approach it that way. 95% of the people, the lemmings out there that are running out to these courses and dropping big bucks to go out and learn how to do this, they're setting themselves up for failure. It's stupidity. But anyway, don't get me on my soapbox. But yeah, Chris, you're absolutely right.
Gene, let's keep working this deal. Did you guys work it all the way through, or do you still got some?
From what you've told me, here's how I would have played this. There's 2 ways. The first thing I would have done is gone on to Rentometer and found out what the rents were in that area, so I could establish not only the value of the property but the rents that were. I would establish what the wholesale value was, because I'm not gonna. It's out of state for me, even though it's next door to you. I still wouldn't. I don't recommend my students take on rehab jobs. Even if they're experienced at it, why do that? Why you can do 5 of my deals in the time it takes to do 1 rehab deal, and you can do it over and over and over again for pennies on the dollar and get large chunks of change and not have to worry about all the headaches of rehab or having someone on site or you being on site. So don't do that. You tee it up and say, okay, wholesale, what can I wholesale it for? And by the way, I have the network of wholesalers that are all waiting for these types of deals. Like I said, I got 2 right now that I could sell today, so people can contact me. If you're a wholesaler and you hear this, contact me, and I've got some deals for you. You can at least look at. I mean, it won't hurt. So I'll get you in touch with my student, and you guys can talk. I don't have anything to do with it. I'm not going to interject myself in the deal at all. But getting back to your deal, I would have immediately gone to the municipality and said, if I pay this to you, OTC, do I get the property? And if the answer is yes, if they said yes, I'll give you the deed, you give me the money, I give the deed, I would have paid that $71,000 immediately. If I don't have that $71,000 in my bank account, I would have gone out to my network and said, guys, wire me the $71,000. I need to close this deal tomorrow. So I have access to that money one way or the other, whether it's mine or if it's other people's money. You know what I mean?
Well, Todd, let me ask you a quick question in regards to your cash folks you have in there. Are they essentially hard money lenders? So they'll be charging around the 10% mark, or is it
they're not hard. Is even harder than that. They're lenders. They're private money lenders. But there's 2 ways they'll get usually involved. They'll either say, look, I'll take 10%, but it's simple interest. It's not compounding. They'll just say, look, I'll give it to you for a year. At this, I'll give you $20,000 for a year. You go do your deals, and you can do 10 deals in that time with that same money. You can just keep churning it, but you just pay them back for their simple interest. So you pay them $2,000 for access to money. It's cheap money. If you keep it, if you put it in the perspective, it's cheap money. Or if they're a little more seasoned and astute, they might say, wait a minute, you do the heavy lifting. I'll be the money partner, and we'll split it 50-50. So either way, you're going to make money for not putting your dime into it, but one could be cheap money or one could be a little more expensive. But the advantage of doing it with someone like that is you can set up I teach you how to set up a pipeline and set up a business so that you're dropping them all the time, so that you're turning that money, you're making those profits. And even though you're making 50% of 5 or 10 deals is better than 100% of 1 deal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. So let's get back to Gene's deal. Let's finish that up, and then we'll go.
So I've got I would have paid it off immediately, secured the property, and then I would have I keep seeing Chris up there. I thought I answered that, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Don't just do it my way. Go under the radar and do it without doing that. So what was I going to say? I would have secured the property. I would have got the tax deed. Then you go into a process, which is you quiet the title. You got to quiet the title and turn it into a warranty deed so that you can sell it. And then I would immediately flip it to a wholesaler and made that money cashed out, or I would have rented it out. I would have fixed it up enough to rent it, because you can fix up your properties a way different than what I was thinking about. I do very low end properties, but all I do is get them ready for, as long as I can jump over the Section 8 hurdle, then I Section 8 them, and then I just go to town and rent them out for. Imagine, okay, you get a property, do the math. You get a property for $5,000, and that's the full warranty deed and everything. You picked it up for $2,000 and you quiet the title, you get the warranty deed. Now you go out and market it and you get a renter in there. They come in and they're paying in some places $750, $800, $850 a door. Mm-hmm. And you paid $5,000 for that property. Is that a good investment?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I have wholesalers that are buying those properties for $40,000 and $50,000 all day long to do the same thing. And when I tell them, well, why don't you pick them up for $5,000? They drop a load.
So here, Todd, we got another question from Chris. He says, in Rhode Island, if we purchase a property on a tax sale, the owner has a 1 year of redemption. Is this common in Rhode Island, or is it unique?
Well, it's actually great in Rhode Island. In most places, they have a 2 and even a 3 year redemption. That's why I asked you to put up that this whole conversation is about foreclosable tax liens, because most places they'll do it as a lien, and you just are paying on the lien, and you're getting the percentage on the lien, an annual percentage. But I teach people how to bypass that whole process and foreclose on the lien and get around, circumvent the year, 2 or 3 waiting period. That's why most people don't engage, because they think they have this superfluous idea that or misnomer that you have to wait a year, 2 or 3 to get those properties and cash out. No, I teach you how to foreclose on that deed and or lien. That's why if you get in your head, most people go, you can't foreclose on a lien. Yeah, you can. I can show you how. And you do it legally, and you do it with a lawyer. And so you get it in a lien. That's why you get it so cheap, because if you get it as a deed, you're going to pay a lot more for it. But if you get it as a lien, you pay off the lien. That's pennies on the dollar. Then you foreclose on it. You quiet the title, turn it into a warranty deed. It's a process. It takes a little while. It takes anywhere from, say, 2 to 6 months, depending on the county and depending on your resources and focus. But let's say it's a process of 4 months. In that 4 months, you turn it from a total shit show, for lack of a better word, mm-hmm. to a viable property, and you are able to cash out. I found there's a company out of California. They're very smart. They're very astute. They are actually snatching up land and land banking land, and all the failed projects in 2008. All these failed developments, and they're pre-planned and everything. They're sitting out there, and they're on the I-10 from Phoenix to California. They're cherry picking and picking these things up again for pennies on the dollar, but they're picking up as deeds, so they're paying a little more for them. But still, 10 cents on the dollar, 15 cents on the dollar is a prayer. And then they're waiting the 3 years for them to go through the process and redeem the redemption period. And I called them up to say, well, guys, what if I could show you a way to capitalize on all those millions of dollars you're sitting on there today? They didn't want to. They had so many in the can, and so many that were going already through the process that had gone through the 3 year redemption period. They were focused on those deals, and we're just letting the other deals come as they did. That's a nice setup. But they could have cashed out that whole thing in about a year if they would have let me show them how to accelerate the process.
Well, there's obviously a lot more than we can cover in one show. We got to start wrapping up the show here just because of time restraints for everybody. But Todd, obviously, I heard you. I met you through Jake Wolf over at Clever Leads, Clever with a K. And I heard you when you interviewed with him on his show. And I was so enamored and just dumbfounded by this topic and concept that my head exploded. So I had to get you on, had to interview you, and really kind of let people expose people to kind of what you're building. So, first off,
thank you.
The knowledge you're dropping is absolutely incredible. And it's so it really makes you think about, okay, I can do things differently. So if someone wants to get in your world, if they want to jump into your program, we're not going to talk about pricing of the program or anything here. What it is, just how do they get a hold of you? Where can they schedule a consultation with them?
Yeah, you can call me directly. Just contact me at toddashton@gmail. But I get so many emails that if you really want to contact me, get my phone number, 801-358-1496. I actually have RoboKiller on there, so it doesn't recognize numbers and usually will put you right in my voicemail. But what you can do is text me. If you have my number, 801-358-1496, put that on there. And I would encourage them to text me and say, hey, refer to your podcast or Jake's. I watched you out there. I want to learn more about this. I want to get involved. And I don't sell people. I don't chase people. The first thing I do is educate you up front and show you, hey, go here. Like your buddy Gene was asking, go here, go here, go here. There's so many free sites that you can educate yourself on what this is all about. You can actually go out to my competitor, USTLA. I don't suggest this, but you can go out and they've got online videos on how to watch all the basic stuff so you can get all the basic information for free. They want to do that because as soon as they get your information, obviously they're going to just hard press you to buy, and they will charge you more for what I do, way more for way less. And you have me forever, you have them for a year. The advantages of coming off me are so ridiculous. I could talk about them all day, but they upsell on they're kind of like carte blanche. Everything you get, it's a la carte. You have to pay for this. I'm carte blanche. You pay me up front. You have me for life, and I'm in your corner on every deal you do, showing you what to do, walking you through it. But I would suggest contact me, text me if you're serious. I'm going to direct you. If Gene did that, all I'm going to do is say, look, buddy, let's get to know me first. That's important. Get to know me, get to trust me, verify everything I'm saying. Don't take me at word value. Verify. I'm going to show you where to go to verify and get third-party opinions or white papers or whatever to back up what I'm saying. And then as you get more familiar with the topic and understand what you're doing, then we can take in a lockstep approach and get you where you're prepared to come on board the alliance. But again, I won't let you even on the alliance until you have to do 4 things. You have to prove to me, 1, that you have the passion and desire. Passion and desire is key. You have to be off the charts on that. On a scale from 1 to 10, you got to be about 20 or 100 or more. I mean, you have to have the passion, or go be a Walmart greeter. I don't care, but you got to have the passion for what you're doing. Number 2, you need to have the time. It takes 10 hours a week, give or take, that you need to actually be doing something. You actually put the time in. Number 3, you got to be malleable. You got to be teachable. If you're not open to even what I'm talking about, go do something else. You won't be successful. And then number 4 is you have to have the price, the money, the price of admission for me to engage. And then I had a student, her first deal she did with me, I'll leave you with this. Her first deal, she was out of Florida. She was a realtor. She came on. She said, I came through the grapevine. I've got people who know you and have been successful with you. I want to come on. But she was Asian. Her parents were living with her. She had a little boy. Her boyfriend had just left her with a 4-month-old boy. And she was the breadwinner as a realtor. And she said, if I pay you, it's just going to have enough money to cover the cost of your engaging with you. And I said, no worries. I said, let's get going. I'll take you by the hand and we'll get going on this. And I'll plug you into my network and everything we've been talking about. And I'll lead you to the success. So she did. Her first deal, she came in, she bought a deed in Florida. She's in Florida, but she bought it in Lake County, Florida for $18,500. She didn't have any more money. So she borrowed that money from a lender at 10% simple interest. And she went out and secured the deed, turned around, and it was in pristine condition. It had no fix up. She got in the house. It was in like probate or something. It had been probate for years. She got it. It was like a museum. She turned around and she put it back on the market with the realtor. She sold it in 4 months using someone else's money. She sold it for $165,000. She had in it just over about a 30. She profited $130,000 on her first deal using someone else's money with none of our money in it. That's the kind of power I can show people to do.
That's how you get it done. Like I said, guys, there's just no way you can cover everything here real quickly. So we have Todd's number up there, guys. Gene, I know you got to bounce. We're going to do a hard stop in 2 minutes for you. Where can people get a hold of the Volpinator?
Same as always, man. They can come on the show every week and talk to us via the chat because we're doing it live, or you can hit me at genevolpe.com.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. You guys obviously know where to get a hold of me. You can always get a hold of me here on the show. DM me and follow me on everything on Instagram and Facebook. Type in Greg McDaniel, REU on Instagram. You'll see all the crazy stories I'm posting. And, of course, and follow me here on Facebook as well.
Hey, Greg, and one last thing. If they see your broadcast and they want to engage me, if they engage you first. If they want to engage you, you can always lead them to me.
Okay. Yeah, guys, if you guys want to, I can connect you directly to Todd as well. Gene, in the interest of time, I need you to pick a color so you can go pick up your beautiful girls because school's back in session.
It's crazy. Well, being that Todd's been here and we're talking scratch, let's go with money green.
Ooh. Yeah.
I love that color. I love that color.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Gene. You and I are going to get along very well. Everyone I've met, Jake introduced me to Greg, and everybody is of like mind, of like spirit. I love your spirit. I'm so honored. I'm so honored to be here. This is such fun for me.
I'm going to be in touch with you, Todd, for sure.
Okay.
All right.
I look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Hey, you two stay put. All right, guys, for all of you guys that are listening and watching, thank you for your time. I really know that I know that for a fact that what Todd dropped here today was incredibly valuable. We had his number up on the screen. I'll put it up there for one more second. I want you guys to reach out to him if I can find his number. Where the hell? There it is.
It's going to be doable also.
I want you guys to reach out. I want you to get some time with him and really kind of go down the rabbit hole since we don't have time to do it here. I just want to let you guys know, go give us a 5-star review on everywhere we listen to podcasts. A 5-star, not a 2-star. It helps the algorithm to service more people. So, guys, thanks for listening. We love you to pieces. And until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.